Today we are swapping this Turbo XS blow-off valve back out for a stock blow-off valve, or the stock pressure release valve that goes on top of the factory intercooler. So here we have the factory intercooler out of the car so that you can see what that looks like. This is kind of a junky one, but it's out of one of the parts cars. So we have the hot pipe that runs underneath the engine in. This is a really weak point in the hose piping. It's a very soft, flexible hose. This hose collapses and blows out easy. If you can or haven't already, look into upgrading and replacing this hose. Again, that goes from the hot pipe or from where the turbo comes out into the bottom of the intercooler. And then you've got the intercooler itself, and then you've got the top of the intercooler. And here at the top of the intercooler is the pipe that runs into the throttle body. Your throttle body connects on here. And then this is the hose that runs up right here into the factory intake as a waste dump. And then you've got your blow-off valve, a vacuum line, and these two vacuum lines are going to be real tiny little thin hose. Kind of like this right here, and they run to the solenoid, the blow-off valve solenoid that controls the release of that air via vacuum pressure and such. So basically we're going to undo the install here for this Turbo XS blow-off valve. I want to revert this car back to completely stock, but I wanted to show you guys what that kind of looked like assembled here on the top of the intercooler, because you really can't see that when it's all like assembled in the car. And then the other reason why I have this one out is because I discovered on my stock blow-off valve here that I was going to put back in the car. This is the one that was in the trunk of this car, so I'm assuming this is the one they took off the car. So there's like a little rubber seal inside the stock blow-off valve, and you'll see here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but right there you can see where that rubber is cracked. So that crack goes all the way around, and then right there, boom, you can see this torn, kind of a torn rubber hole right there. So that's going to cause major issues. That's going to cause the blow-off valve to not work correctly. That's going to cause check engine lights for wastegate codes or blow-off valve codes. A lot of you guys keep chasing. I see a lot of posts about these P codes that are related to blow-off valve issues. If you are on a stock blow-off valve still, which is this what this looks like, this is a very common issue on these blow-off valves. You can see there again. I'll show you up close. There you can see how torn and ripped that blow-off valve is. So this isn't going to work correctly. That diaphragm's junk. The other issue that I see on these is this seal. Now this is the base plate. It goes like this on top of the intercooler, so like so, and then the blow-off valve mounts there on top like so. They messed this seal up when reinstalling their new blow-off valve, and if this seal does not seal correctly, again, you're going to have some issues. You're going to get blow-off valve codes or related issues with vacuum and boost pressure and all kinds of stuff. So this is a really common thing. It's just the 3 bolts here on top that you need to pull out to get the blow-off valve off. So you're going to see that here on camera. And then I'm not going to reinstall this junky blow-off valve. I'm going to pull the blow-off valve off of this intercooler here. And hopefully the diaphragm's still good in this one. Otherwise, I'm going to have to buy a replacement. Because I wanted to put this car back to stock. So that's the goal here today. We're going to get this blow-off valve out next, and I'll show you how to reinstall everything. So before we install the new blow-off valve, or the replacement blow-off valve, it's not a new one, but I want to make sure that I get any grease or dirt off of this seal the best I can. Make sure that that seal is good and intact, and then we're basically going to reinstall her back on, kind of the way it came off. I'm going to press this vacuum line on here first. Like so. So today's video was super quick and short. I just wanted to show what switching this blow-off valve back out looked like and talk about that seal and the diaphragm on here, so that you guys can maybe investigate that as being a possibility for some of your check engine light P codes that you have that are blow-off valve and boost related. I've seen a lot of times you guys are installing blow-off valves in the stock intercooler here, and you're installing them incorrectly. You're either not equally screwing the screws down so that you have equal pressure and you're not bending the plate that the blow-off valve is sitting on. All of this needs to be sealed and flat like a pancake. So you've got the sandwich plate that vents, and you've got the blow-off valve that sits on there, and that diaphragm needs to be in good condition, and the vacuum line that connects onto the blow-off valve needs to be good. Normally there's a clamp here. I just threw a zip tie back on there because I didn't have the clamp. The other end of that vacuum line connects back here. You're not really going to be able to see it, but right there's the blow-off valve solenoid. This is a stock one. Some of you have done the Mac solenoid upgrade, but this is the stock one. So one line comes out of that solenoid and connects up front here, in that front corner on that intercooler, stock intercooler, and then on the other end there's another hose barb that connects the end here. So basically that solenoid is a run between. It's a wastegate solenoid controller of some sort there that controls that pressure through there. Now, a lot of you upgrade that solenoid right there. Some of you guys go to the Mac solenoid, which is fine. Those Mac solenoids are known to go bad as well over time. I've personally had a couple of them start to have bad vacuum leaks and boost leaks over time. That's something that you really don't know is there unless you're doing boost leaks and boost leak tests and things like that on the car. So that's something I highly recommend you guys start doing. If you are not already, at least once a year, I run a boost leak test on my show car, the blue and white one. At least once a year I do that, and I do that just to make sure that none of my silicone couplings have come loose and that I'm not having any issues with vacuum lines or clamps or something that may have came loose somewhere, and it's out of sight, out of mind, or you can't see it. you'll never know that that stuff's there if you don't boost leak test your car. So, everybody, I recommend getting a boost leak test done at least once a year on the car, making sure that, you know, clamps and stuff haven't come loose. And if you're still running a stock blow-off valve, pop your stock blow-off valve off and check the diaphragm inside there. It might be blown out.